Hi everyone, welcome back to Slade Secrets YouTube channel. In this video, I will be showing you guys how I bleach the lace on my wigs or even my lace frontals. For this demonstration, I'm using this beautiful lace front wig from Original Queen Hair. As you can see on this wig, you can see the knots through the lace, so this is a perfect wig to use for this video. Bleaching lace fronts and lace wigs is a whole process and you need a lot of products, so I'm going to show you every single product that I use in order to bleach the lace for wigs as well as lace fronts. Of course, you don't have to do every single step that I did. There are a few extra steps in this process that I like to do. Normally, right after I bleach the lace for a wig, I do tint the lace as well, so that will be in the next video. But anyways, let's get to it. So these are the items that you will need to bleach your lace. You will need a clear counter space, of course, starting with 2 plastic trash bags. I use the trash bags to protect my counter. You know, keep your nice things nice, okay? Next, you will need a couple pairs of gloves because you are dealing with chemicals. Next are scissors. I will be using these scissors for different things throughout this process. Okay, so this is the first chemical that we will need for this process. I use the Clairol Professional BW2 Extra Strength Powder Lightener. So with the powder, you will also need the developer. So I also have here the Clairol Pure White Cream Developer in 40 Max Lift. You will be mixing this developer with the powder to make the chemical to bleach the knots on the lace. The first shampoo we are using to wash off the chemical is the Isoplus Neutralizing Shampoo and Conditioner. You definitely need a neutralizing shampoo for this process. So the second shampoo that we are using for this process is the Clairol Professional Shimmering Lights Shampoo. We use this shampoo to help with the lace color after the lace has been bleached. The next item you will need is aluminum foil. Next, you will need a mixing bowl to mix the chemicals together, and then you'll need the jumbo tint brush to apply the chemical on top of your lace after you're done mixing it. You'll also need a disposable spoon, and of course, finally, you need your hair. And that's basically it. These are all the items that I use to bleach the knots for my lace wigs and my lace frontals. Alright friends, so let's clean up the counter space because again, we need all the space we need. I am accident prone. I like to knock stuff over unintentionally. Plus I'm goofy, very clumsy. We need some space. We need some elbow room up in here. So we're gonna move all this stuff to the side and get this party started, okay? Alright, so now that I have the counter clean, let's set up our space so that we don't ruin our counters. First, I'm taking this small white plastic trash bag. I'm basically cutting the white trash bag into a large rectangle. After we are done cutting this trash bag, we're going to stretch it out so that it's flat. Make sure it's covering the counter as much as possible. And then we're going to tape this bad boy down so that it doesn't move. Now with the black trash bag, we're basically going to do the same exact thing. I use this black trash bag so that I can see the chemical if I accidentally spill it. The chemical is white, so if a white chemical falls on a black trash bag, I can kind of have an idea of where I need to clean up, where I need to not place my lace on, what I need to not touch. It's basically like an indicator so you can see if I made a mess. Alright, our counter is now protected. We can bring out the items that we need to create our bleach mixture. So now we need to move the hair out of the way of the lace. So what I am doing right now is combing out the hair, and then I'm going to put some braids on the wig. For this process, I'm going to just zip through because all I am doing is sectioning off the hair and braiding it as tight as possible. We just need the hair that's on the lace out of the way so that we don't end up accidentally bleaching sections of the hair on this wig instead of the intended lace that we want to bleach. So just braid the hair as tightly as you can, not too tight though. You don't want the lace to basically scrunch up, and then after you braid it, just clip it with a hair clip so that it's out of the way completely. This process can get messy and you can accidentally bleach places on this wig that you weren't intending to bleach. So in order to isolate what we are trying to bleach exactly, we have to move everything out of the way that could possibly get in the way. And this is the final look after braiding. Nothing special. All I did was braid the hair. We will need to flatten the lace as much as possible. Maybe move some of the clips around. And now folding the wig inside out. Normally I would use the flatter hair clips, but I didn't have any available. I had to work with what I got. So now that the wig is flattened as much as possible, now we can prepare our chemical mixture. And safety first, put on your gloves, then have at it. So I'm only starting off with a couple scoops of the powder. Later on, I did add more scoops of the powder because I realized I needed more of the bleach mixture for my lace. I used 40 developer to process the hair in a shorter period of time. So the lower the number is, the more time that you need to process the hair. The higher the number is, the less time that you need to process the hair. Oop! You see that? This is exactly why I put this black trash bag on the counter so I can see where the mess is. See how that's helpful. But anyways, right now as you are mixing the two together, the developer and the powder, the bleaching powder that is, you want to basically make sure that the mixture is kind of like thicker than toothpaste. You don't want the mixture to be runny because if it's too liquidy, it'll go through the lace. Maybe on the label, it might tell you how much of each of the products to add. My knowledge is only based off of my experience of bleaching wigs. So if your mixture ends up too liquidy, just add more powder. That's just what I do. You don't have to do that, but this is how I do this process. But if all fails, the worst that you can do is start over. So do what you gotta do so that you can get that perfect lace. The consistency of the mixture needs to be thick enough not to bleed through the lace, because if it is too liquidy and runny, you are going to over bleach the knots, and you don't want that because you will then have to turn around and correct that. So this step is very important. I use the plastic spoon only for this purpose, only for mixing the chemical together, because using that brush wouldn't have really helped out. I know some people use the other side of the brush or the brush itself. Maybe it works out for them, but it did not work out for me. As I'm mixing, I'm also checking the consistency of the chemical, and it looks like we are good to go, my friends. We can go ahead and use this bad boy. So you see that? We want it to be thick like that. Basically, it's the consistency of toothpaste or even a little bit thicker. So I think we're ready to go, my friends. So let's move on. Now I'm getting the foil to basically size up the wig. You want enough foil to cover the entire wig, basically like you're wrapping a sandwich. So the amount of foil that you need is enough to cover the entire wig, front and back, basically 360 coverage. All right, we have the right amount of foil, so now we can go ahead and apply this chemical to our lace to start the bleaching process. So basically, I take a scoop of the chemical and I'm patting it on top of the lace, lightly patting. You just want it to touch, just a light touch. You don't want to push it down into the lace because, again, if you push it too far deep, you can potentially over bleach the knots, and that is what we are trying to avoid today in this process of trying to bleach this lace. So basically, I'm doing a light tap of the bleach on top of the lace, and then when I get a general area that has enough of the product, I'm going to smooth it over as if I was smoothing jam on a slice of bread to make it an even layer or coat of the chemical on top of the lace. You don't have to do that exactly, make an even layer on top of the lace, but this is what I do for this step specifically. But don't press down, just light tap and smooth, because you can potentially over bleach the knots on the lace, and you don't want to do that because it is a lot of work to correct that mistake. Trust me. Now I am done applying the bleach on top of the lace. This is how it looks like. So I did have some bleach left over. I could have put that on the back lace, but we're not focused on processing the back lace today, only the lace frontal. So now I'm basically wrapping the wig in the foil, just covering all the corners. You can fold it however you want. Just make sure that there is no open spaces for the heat to escape when the chemical starts to process on the lace. And of course, set your timer. I set my timer for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes pass by, you definitely want to check on the lace. What you'll see is a bunch of bubbles on the bleach that you placed on the lace. That kind of lets you know it's kind of done and it was processing. I like to also check by scraping some of the bleach off to look at the lace. I do see that the knots are no longer black showing through the lace. So I think we are good to go, my friends. We can go ahead and wash this lace out. So first I'm going to thoroughly rinse out the wig as best as I can. Rinse off all that chemical off the lace. The neutralizing shampoo will stop the bleaching process on the lace after we have rinsed off the chemical from the lace. So just squeeze a fair amount of the neutralizing shampoo on the lace and scrub away. Don't scrub the lace too hard because you don't want it to rip. Sometimes chemicals are too harsh for the lace that vendors will use. So you definitely want to keep that in mind while you're scrubbing. It's already bad enough that, you know, the hair is going to shed because it has been processed. So keep that in mind as you are washing this lace. And just to make sure my bases are covered, I went ahead and did a second wash. I know you guys can tell from looking at this video, the lace is pretty brassy. And you will see for yourself as you are bleaching this wig that your wig is this brassy color. So that's where the Shimmering Lights shampoo comes in. This shampoo will cancel the brassy color from the lace and it will make the color less harsh. It looks kind of orange. We don't want an Oompa Loompa orange lace. We want it to come back to kind of close to brown. You know what I mean? That's what the shampoo will help out with. I basically scrub until the purple shampoo turns white. You know, you can scrub up until that point or you can scrub until you feel comfortable with how it looks. It's completely up to you. So for the second wash for this wig using the Shimmering Lights shampoo, I do scrub a little bit and then I'm going to let it sit on the counter for some time. This will give me time to go ahead and clean my supplies. The chemical has already stopped at this point. We used the neutralizing shampoo. So now by using the Shimmering Lights shampoo, it's just a cosmetic thing. Okay, so now some more scrubbing. And finally, we can take these clips out and unbraid the hair and start our detangling, because with all that scrubbing I'm pretty sure there are tangles now. And plus with the processing, as I mentioned earlier, the hair will start to shed because the chemicals. So I expect the lace to be not as thick as before, which is okay. It happens every time. Every wig is different from different vendors. Some vendors' hair shed more than others. It just depends whatever formula they are using for their wig products. So this one actually did shed a lot from the processing, but the lace is still full. That just means that this lace was full from the jump. So I'm happy that I still have a lace frontal after bleaching. This hair is so thick, so it was no joke trying to detangle this wig. After all the processing and the washing, this is the amount of hair that I lost from the lace. This is a lot of hair and I am a little nervous, but not really because the hair on this wig is overall thick. I'm telling you, you are going to lose some hair from this lace, but that's okay because I was going to customize the lace frontal anyway. Okay guys, so I am done. So here we go. This is before and this is after. Don't be alarmed because I did lose some edges from the processing. As you guys know, I am not a beautician. I just do this for fun. I like to learn how to manipulate wigs, so I just wanted to share with you guys how I do this process. So let me know what you think, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns. And finally, showing you how the lace looks on my head before bleaching You see how the knots don't really look as appealing on my head before bleaching? This is exactly why I do this process. And then boom, look at that. Now look at this wig on my head after I bleached the knots and tinted the lace. You can literally see the wig cap through this lace. Like, this wig looks like the hair is coming straight out of my scalp. And you see that? No more knots. No more knots. This is exactly what I wanted. I am overall happy with the end result. We do not see knots on this wig anymore, guys. We did it. So the next video is me showing you guys how I tint the lace. This will help the wig blend more with my skin tone. Definitely watch the second part of this video to see how I tint the lace. So go ahead and watch that video next. Be sure that you are subscribed to Slade Secrets YouTube channel so that you can see more tutorials. But anyways, that's all that we have for today, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, my friends.